A strong hold over current affairs is crucial for aspirants to succeed in the UPSC Civil Services examination. Administer your preparation with updated and relevant news with the monthly Current Affairs Revision Program. Starting from 20th September at 5 p.m., the 60 dedicated classes offer detailed topic-wise coverage of important news compiled through authentic sources such as The Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, Yojana among others. Enhance your knowledge with up-to-date contextual understanding of all current affairs, expert support through personal mentoring, assessment through MCQs and mains-oriented questions, doubt-clearing sessions, student portal access.
Hello and thank you for tuning into this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. Cabinet Committee on Security in Principle approved fencing of India-Myanmar border. Minister of Defence addressed the second edition of the biannual Naval Commanders Conference. Governing AI for Humanity, UN Advisory Body on Artificial Intelligence final report released. FATF launched Mutual Evaluation Report for India. 7 Net Zero Climate Resilient City Action Plans 2070 released. Union Minister of Cooperation launches initiatives to strengthen cooperative sector. In our very first news, the Cabinet Committee on Security has in principle approved the fencing of the entire 1,643 km porous India-Myanmar border. This significant move is estimated to cost approximately Rs 31,000 crore. Currently, only 30 kilometers of this border are fenced, highlighting the urgency of this initiative. So what exactly is a porous border? A porous border refers to areas that are not adequately protected to prevent movement across which can be either unfenced or fenced but still vulnerable. Now, let's look at the current status. In addition to Myanmar, India shares open borders with Nepal and Bhutan. However, it also faces porous border challenges with Pakistan, Bangladesh, and China. The implications of such borders can pose serious threats to national security. They can facilitate cross-border terrorism, insurgency in the northeast, arms smuggling, and human trafficking. Additionally, drug trafficking is a significant concern, particularly since Myanmar is part of the Golden Triangle. We must also consider the issue of refugee influxes, often resulting from political instability in neighboring countries. Transitioning to the challenges faced in border fencing, we encounter rugged terrain that includes marshy lands, riverine borders, and extreme climatic conditions such as those found in the Siachen Glacier. These factors create both technological and financial hurdles. Moreover, the lack of demarcation poses another challenge. Some of India's borders with its neighbors are disputed, which complicates efforts for clear boundary setting. It is also important to address the popular discontent arising from cross-border ethnic ties. For instance, the Zo Reunification Organization of Mizoram has protested against the government's decision to fence the India-Myanmar border and to suspend the free movement regime. Moving forward, what initiatives are being implemented for effective border management? One major effort is the Comprehensive Integrated Border Management System, or CIBMS, which aims to integrate manpower, sensors, networks, intelligence, and command control solutions. Additionally, the Border Electronically Dominated QRT Interception Technique, or BOLT QIT, is being deployed under CIBM. The system utilizes various intrusion detection sensors, including radar and electro-optics. Moreover, we have the Border Infrastructure and Management Scheme, a central sector initiative focused on constructing border fences, floodlights, and more. Finally, the recently passed Forest Conservation Amendment Act of 2023 has implications for strategic projects concerning national security located within 100 kilometers of international borders, the line of actual control, and the line of control. These projects are now exempt from certain prior approvals, streamlining the process for critical developments. In summary, the approval for fencing the India-Myanmar border represents a significant step toward enhancing national security, albeit with various challenges and initiatives in play. Ahead, we bring you highlights from the recent address by the Minister of Defence at the second edition of the biannual Naval Commanders Conference. The Naval Commanders Conference is an apex-level biannual event that facilitates important discussions on significant strategic, operational, and administrative issues among our esteemed naval commanders. In his address, the Minister of Defence praised the Indian Navy's readiness in safeguarding the maritime interest of the country. This commitment has solidified the Navy's credibility as the first responder in the Indian Ocean region, or IOR. Now, let's delve into the importance of the Indian Ocean region itself. Geopolitically, the Indian Ocean region is emerging as a new theatre for competition among global powers, including the United States of America and France. Therefore, it is crucial for India to pursue its vision of being a net security provider while also containing the rising footprint of China. Transitioning to security concerns, incidents such as piracy, hijacking, drone attacks, and missile strikes, along with disruptions to sea cable connections, render this region extremely sensitive. Moreover, from an economic perspective, the Indian Ocean region is vital. It handles 1/3 of the world's bulk cargo traffic and 2/3 of global oil shipments, making it an essential lifeline for international trade and transport. Shifting our focus to climate security, reports indicate that the Indian Ocean has warmed faster than any other ocean since the 1950s, according to the IPCC. In this context, prompt humanitarian assistance and disaster relief by India is critical for maintaining its credibility as its first responder in the region. So, what initiatives is India taking to establish leadership in the IOR? One notable effort is the Indian Ocean Rim Association, or IORA, which is an intergovernmental organization established in 1997 aimed at strengthening regional cooperation within the IOR. Additionally, the Information Fusion Center, Indian Ocean Region, hosted by the Indian Navy, plays a key role in enhancing maritime safety and security. We also have the Mahasagar Initiative, which stands for Maritime Heads for Active Security and Growth for All in the region. And let's not forget India's Neighbourhood First policy, along with initiatives like Sagar and HADR, which include efforts such as Vaccine Maitri and Operation Karuna. In summary, the Minister of Defence's address underlines the strategic significance of the Indian Ocean region and India's proactive approach to securing its maritime interests. Next, we focus on the UN Advisory Body on Artificial Intelligence, which has released its final report after being formed last year to analyze and advance recommendations for the international governance of AI. Let's begin by discussing the need for global governance of AI. The accelerated development of this technology is concentrating power and wealth on a global scale, raising significant geopolitical and geoeconomic implications. Furthermore, there's a profound lack of understanding of AI's inner workings, making it difficult to fully control its outputs or predict its evolution. Additionally, since AI technology is transboundary in both structure and application, it cannot be left solely to market forces. This highlights the necessity for equitable distribution of AI's opportunities, such as optimizing energy grids and improving public health and agriculture. Transitioning to the gap in global AI governance, the report points out a critical lack of truly global and comprehensive frameworks. Despite numerous documents and initiatives on AI governance, representation remains an issue. For instance, in the sampled countries, only 7 are parties to all AI governance efforts, while a staggering 118 countries, primarily in the global south, are not involved at all. Moreover, implementation of existing commitments have proven to be problematic. This often results in a failure to translate intentions into tangible outcomes, thereby hindering the equitable sharing of AI's benefits. Now, what recommendations does the report propose to bridge these gaps? First, it suggests establishing an independent international scientific panel on AI. Additionally, a twice-yearly intergovernmental and multi-stakeholder policy dialogue on AI governance is recommended to foster collaboration. The report also advocates for the creation of an AI standards exchange, which would bring together various stakeholders and an AI capacity development network to enhance skills globally. Furthermore, the establishment of a global fund for AI is crucial to facilitate broader access to this technology. The report also calls for a global AI data framework developed through a process initiated by a relevant agency. Finally, it proposes the creation of an AI office within the UN Secretariat to support and coordinate global efforts in AI risk management and governance. In summary, the UN Advisory Body's report emphasizes the urgent need for global governance of AI and outlines a comprehensive set of recommendations aimed at ensuring that this transformative technology benefits all of humanity. Ahead, we'll be discussing an important development in India's efforts to combat money laundering and terrorist financing. The Financial Action Task Force, or FATF, has just launched its Mutual Evaluation Report, or MER, for India, focusing on anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing measures. This report places India in the regular follow-up category, which highlights India's effective compliance with FATF standards. So, what are the key areas highlighted in this report? Well, one of the primary points is that India has shown significant improvements in understanding the risk of money laundering and terror financing. It also stresses the importance of national coordination and cooperation, the use of financial intelligence for investigating money laundering, predicate offences, and terrorism financing investigations. But what are the main sources of money laundering in India? According to the report, these stem largely from illegal activities within the country, including fraud, especially cyber-enabled fraud, corruption, and drug trafficking. Speaking of security threats, the report also highlights the significant danger posed by groups linked to Islamic State or Al-Qaeda operating in and around Jammu and Kashmir. In addition to these global terror threats, India continues to face challenges from regional insurgencies in the northeast and north, as well as from left-wing extremist groups. Now, while India has ramped up investigations under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, the report points out a gap in the system. Despite the increasing number of investigations, the number of prosecution complaints and concluded trials hasn't kept pace, suggesting room for improvement in bringing cases to closure. The FATF report also provides several key recommendations for India. One crucial suggestion is the implementation of targeted financial sanctions to ensure that funds and assets related to terrorism are frozen without delay. Another recommendation is to define domestic politically exposed person, or PEPs, under the PMLA. Currently, only foreign PEPs are defined under the law. And in the case of non-profit organizations, the report advises enhancing measures to protect them from terror abuse through risk-based strategies. Now, for those wondering about the Mutual Evaluation Report itself, this is an in-depth assessment of countries' measures to combat money laundering, terrorist financing, and the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. Interestingly, India is one of the few G20 nations to be placed in the top regular follow-up category, alongside the UK, France, Italy, and suspended Russia. In contrast, most developing countries fall under the enhanced follow-up category, which requires annual reports, whereas countries in the regular follow-up category only have to submit reports every 3 years. This distinction is a testament to India's strong performance in AML and CFT measures, although, as the report shows, there is always room for improvement. In a significant step towards achieving net zero emissions, 7 net zero climate resilient city action plans for 2070 have been released. These plans were unveiled during the National Workshop on Multi-Level Action for Climate Resilient Cities, in line with India's ambitious goal of reaching net zero emissions by 2070. Now, Ahmedabad has already been leading by example, releasing its net zero CRCAP last year during the U20 Mayoral Summit. This sets a crucial benchmark for other cities across the country. So, what are the key takeaways from these 8 action plans? Let's begin with climate finance. These cities collectively need over $85,000 billion by 2070 to fund essential climate action projects. This includes initiatives in water supply, sanitation, energy efficiency, and other critical areas. When it comes to emission reduction, the plans highlight the potential for 91% reduction in city emissions based on the current efforts being undertaken. But there's more. Implementing these climate actions is also expected to create around 8 lakh green jobs, showcasing the economic opportunities that come hand in hand with sustainable development. Now, let's quickly touch on what climate resilience really means. In a sense, it's the ability of a city to anticipate, prepare for, and respond to hazardous events or trends triggered by climate change. This involves assessing the risk associated with climate change and taking proactive measures to handle them. But why is there a pressing need for climate resilient cities? One major reason is the increase in extreme weather events such as flooding, sea level rise, and urban heat islands. To counter these threats, cities must strengthen their resilience capabilities. Moreover, cities are responsible for about two-thirds of global energy use and generate over 70% of energy-related greenhouse gas emissions. Hence, the need for climate change mitigation and adaptation is more crucial than ever. Several initiatives are already in place to support this effort. The Capacity Building for Low Carbon and Climate Resilient City Development or CAPACITIES project is driven by the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, which aims to mainstream climate action into urban development. Then, there's the Climate Smart Cities Assessment Framework, which evaluates the performance of smart cities based on 5 key themes to tackle climate change. Lastly, the Resilient Cities Network, launched in 2020, focuses on improving climate resilience with a special emphasis on 3 pillars: climate resilience, circularity, and equity. These collective efforts represent a strong move towards ensuring that India's cities are not only sustainable but also prepared for the challenges that climate change will undoubtedly bring. Ahead in the news, let's look at the latest initiatives launched by the Union Minister of Cooperation to strengthen the cooperative sector, a move that is expected to make a significant impact across multiple fronts. The Union Minister has unveiled 3 major initiatives, starting with the Marg Darshika, an action plan aimed at setting up 2 lakh new multi-purpose primary agricultural cooperative societies, along with dairy and fishery cooperatives. Now, PACS are known to be the grassroots level arms of the short-term cooperative credit structure, playing a crucial role in supporting farmers at the local level. Moving on, the second major initiative is the Standard Operating Procedure for White Revolution 2.0. This initiative is primarily focused on women's empowerment through the dairy sector. The goal here is to ramp up milk procurement significantly, reaching a target of 1,000 lakh kilograms per day by the year of 2029. But that's not all. The third initiative is the SOPs for cooperation among cooperatives. This program is designed to enhance financial inclusion by ensuring cooperative bank accounts are opened for members of cooperative societies, making sure that no one is left out. Now, why are these initiatives so important? They are an effective tool to remove inequality, as cooperatives are people-centered and not capital-centered. They distribute wealth in a fairer manner. Moreover, the empowerment of farmers is a major highlight. Cooperative societies like NAFED, IFCO, and AMUL have been crucial in the socio-economic development of farmers across the country. Financial inclusion is another key benefit. Cooperative banks provide loans to their members at lower interest rates, helping those in rural areas access financial services. And let's not forget about women empowerment. By increasing their participation in cooperatives, women are gaining more representation and in turn a higher income. And speaking of environment, we must remember the White Revolution, also known as the Milk Revolution. It all started in 1970 with Operation Flood, and it has truly transformed India's dairy sector. The program was implemented in 3 phases, with the first phase linking 18 milk sheds to major cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, and Chennai. Then during phase 2 in 1981 to 1985, we saw a massive expansion with the establishment of 43,000 village cooperatives and a significant boost in milk powder production from 22,000 to 140,000 tons. By phase 3 in 1985 to 96, research and development in areas like animal health were in full swing, adding another 30,000 cooperatives to the system. Fast forward to today, India is the highest milk producer in the world with a staggering production of 230.58 million tons in the year 2022-23. That's an incredible achievement, and it highlights the vital role that cooperatives and the White Revolution have played in shaping the nation's dairy sector. In today's Place in News, we will talk about Jordan with its capital Amman. It is in news as the World Health Organization or WHO has declared Jordan as the first country in the world to eliminate leprosy. Talking about its political features, it is located in the north of the Arabian Peninsula and in West Asia. It shares its borders with Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Palestine in the West Bank. Its bordering water bodies include Jordan River, Dead Sea, and Gulf of Aqaba. If we talk about its geographical features, then its highest point is Jabal ad-Dami, and its rivers include Yarmouk River and Jordan River. As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. The Jharkhand government has filed a contempt petition against the centre alleging delay in appointment of the Chief Justice of the High Court. The contempt of court is defined under Contempt of Courts Act 1971. Article 129 and Article 215 give power to the SC and HCs to punish contempt. Recently, the government released guidelines for EV charging stations in line with the new PM eDrive scheme. The guidelines aim at increasing EV adoption by ensuring charging stations are safe, reliable and accessible, and developing a robust national charging network, initially prioritizing key locations. The Indore Municipal Corporation produces 17,000 kilograms of bio-CNG every day from Asia's largest municipal solid waste-based facility. The plant was launched in 2022. It is part of galvanizing organic bio-agro-resource Dhan initiative to turn waste into wealth. More than 18,000 individuals registered on the first list of Fast Track Immigration Trusted Travelers Program. In June 2024, the FTI-TTP was inaugurated at Indira Gandhi International Airport, New Delhi. The nodal ministry of FTI-TTP is the Ministry of Home Affairs. Its objective is to speed up the immigration clearance process for eligible persons at select major airports through electronic gates. Bangalore-based space startup Bellatrix Aerospace unveiled a Project 200. It is an innovative satellite designed to operate at an ultra-low Earth orbit, that is 180 km to 250 km. Recently, many pagers used by Hezbollah in Lebanon exploded simultaneously. Pagers or beepers are wireless communication devices, first patented in 1949 by Alfred J. Gross. Manipur's Tamenglong district imposes a ban on hunting of Amur falcon. Amur falcon makes voyage from breeding grounds in Russia and China to southern Africa. National Disaster Management Authority and Southern Command of the Indian Army are set to host the exercise Aikya in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. The exercise's primary objective is to improve disaster preparedness and foster strong collaboration among key stakeholders. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Knowledge. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solution to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description below.